Okay, so something huge just happened in U.S. foreign policy, announced, of all places, on social media by President Trump. So we're going to unpack exactly what was said, what it really means, and the massive questions this raises for pretty much the entire world. And boom, here it is. This is the post that kicked everything off. A direct statement from the president saying any country that does business with Iran is going to get hit with a staggering 25% tariff on all their business with the U.S. I mean, the language here is just absolute. There's zero room for interpretation. And get this, there's no grace period, no 30-day warning. The post says this is all effective immediately. So this isn't some proposal or a threat about the future. According to the president, this is the new reality for global trade. And it starts right now. All right, so a 25% tariff on anyone doing business with Iran. Let's really dig into what a declaration like this actually means. I mean, how does something like this even work? Let's just pause on this number for a second. 25%. You have to understand that's not just a small tax, right? It's a massive economic weapon. It's basically designed to make it so painfully expensive to trade with both Iran and the US that countries are forced to make a choice. Now, there's actually a technical term for this. It's called a secondary sanction. And this is the key part. Notice the tariff isn't on Iran directly. The real target here is the rest of the world, our allies, our rivals, everybody. The whole point is to squeeze Iran by forcing every other country to stop doing business with them. Okay, but here's where things get murky. This entire massive policy shift, it comes from a single social media post. And when the press asked for details, like how will this be enforced? Who exactly does it apply to? What's the plan? The White House has given nothing, no further details. So the announcement is out there for the world to see, but the actual plan, it's a total black box. So that naturally leads to the big question, right? Why now? Of all times, why drop this bombshell right now? Well, the timing seems to be anything but a coincidence. It looks like it's directly tied to what's happening on the ground inside Iran. So, what's been happening? Well, for weeks now, Iran has been seeing these massive anti-government protests just swelling up across the country. Things are incredibly volatile, and there are reports that dozens of protesters have been killed as the government tries to crack down. This is the backdrop for the president's announcement. And if you're looking for the connection, well, here it is. Just 2 days before the tariff announcement, the president posted this, explicitly supporting the demonstrators. So you see, this new economic hammer is clearly being framed as America's way of helping that freedom movement. Okay, so this move on the world stage, it raises a massive question back home, a legal one. Can a president actually do this? All on their own? The legal authority for such a sweeping move is a huge, huge question mark. And that legal question, it all comes down to this one crucial piece of legislation, the IEEPA. So what is this thing? The IEEPA, that's the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, is a really powerful law. Basically, it gives the president the authority to regulate international business after they declare a national emergency. And this is the exact same legal tool that's been used to justify some of President Trump's other big tariffs. But here's the thing. The use of this law is already super controversial. I mean, it's at the heart of a huge legal battle that's already worked its way all the way up to the Supreme Court. And we're expecting a ruling on it, any day now. And that just throws another huge layer of uncertainty onto everything. We have no idea if this new Iran tariff is even based on that same contested law. Is it part of that legal fight, or is it based on some other authority we don't know about? Right now, nobody seems to know. So what you have is this one social media post that's just kicked off a firestorm of urgent questions for global politics, for the U.S. economy, and for American law. First up, you've got the diplomatic side. I mean, how are our biggest trading partners in Europe and Asia going to react when they're told, hey, you have to choose, do business with us or do business with Iran? Are they going to go along with it, or are they going to push back? Then there's the question of what happens in Iran itself. Is this massive economic pressure actually going to help the protesters like it's intended to? Or could it totally backfire? Maybe the regime cracks down even harder. Or maybe it even unites people against an outside threat. And finally, let's not forget that legal decision hanging over everything. That Supreme Court ruling on the IEEPA, it just became even more important. It could either give a green light to this kind of executive action, or it could shut it down completely, totally changing the game for presidential power. And all of this really leaves us with one last big picture thought. Are we watching a whole new way of doing foreign policy being born, where huge, world-changing economic decisions are just announced instantly on social media? The answer to that question is going to stick with us long after this particular crisis is over.